Have you ever walked into a room and felt like nobody noticed? Not in a dramatic way, just quietly. Like you could disappear tomorrow and nothing would really change. You sit with people, but somehow you're still alone. You send messages first, you start conversations, you remember birthdays, you check in on people. Yet sometimes it feels like nobody does the same for you. And after enough time, a question starts forming in the back of your mind: why do I feel invisible? It's a strange kind of loneliness because you can be surrounded by people and still feel completely unseen. You laugh at jokes, show up to work, attend school, participate in conversations, but inside it feels like you're watching life happen through a window instead of actually being a part of it. The worst part is that most people don't even realize you're feeling this way, because from the outside you seem fine, so no one really asks, and eventually neither do you. You just carry it quietly. The strange thing about feeling invisible is that most of the time you aren't. People can see you and they still know you're there. The problem is that being seen and feeling seen are two very different things. Being seen means people notice your presence, whereas feeling seen means people understand your experience. And those aren't the same thing. Someone can know your name, talk to you every day, and still have no idea what you're carrying. You can have hundreds of followers and still feel forgotten. You can have friends and still feel alone, because what we're really searching for isn't attention, it's connection. Attention says, I noticed you, whereas connection says, I understand you. And when connection is missing, attention never feels like enough. That's why some of the most popular people in the world still struggle with loneliness, because being surrounded by people doesn't automatically make you feel understood. Sometimes the feeling doesn't come from other people, sometimes it comes from us. A lot of people who feel invisible have spent years learning how to make themselves smaller. Maybe you grew up feeling like your emotions were too much. Maybe you were told to stop complaining. Maybe every time you spoke up, you got ignored. So eventually you learned something: to just stay quiet. Don't bother anyone, don't take up space. At first, it feels safe, but over time, something strange happens. You become so good at hiding yourself that even the people who care about you stop seeing the real you. Not because they don't want to, but because of the fact that you've become an expert at keeping parts of yourself hidden. You answer, I'm fine, automatically. You avoid talking about your struggles and you keep your thoughts to yourself. You convince yourself that nobody would care anyway. Then one day you look around and wonder why nobody knows what you're going through. But the truth is, they were never given the chance. There's another reason why this feeling has become so common. We're constantly comparing ourselves to everyone else's highlight reel. Every day we see people getting attention through likes, comments, messages, followers, and recognition. And without realizing it, we start using those things as proof of our value. If nobody responds, we feel invisible again. If nobody notices, we feel forgotten. If nobody reaches out, we assume nobody cares. But attention online isn't the same as being important, and silence isn't proof that you don't matter. The internet has a way of making us feel like we're competing for visibility. Like if we aren't constantly being noticed, we must be disappearing. But human worth was never meant to be measured by engagement. Some of the most meaningful people you'll ever meet aren't the loudest people in the room. They're often the quiet ones, the ones who listen, the ones who stay, the ones who make other people feel seen. I feel like most people think they want everyone to notice them, but that's not usually true. What they really want is for one person to understand them. I mean, think about it. If 100 strangers complimented you today, it would feel nice. But if one person truly understood what you've been carrying for years, that would stay with you forever. Because the opposite of feeling invisible isn't fame, it's connection. It's being able to say, this is who I am, and hearing someone respond with, I get it. That's what most of us are searching for. It's not an audience, just understanding. Here's something worth considering. What if you're more visible than you realize? What if people remember you in ways that you'll never know? Like the old joke that you told, or advice that you gave. Maybe it was just a random conversation that you barely remember. the moment you were kind when someone needed it. Most of us never get to see the impact that we have on other people. We assume that because nobody says anything, nothing mattered. But life doesn't work like that. Some people carry pieces of you for years without ever telling you. You become a part of their story without even realizing it. The truth is, invisibility is often a feeling, not a fact. And feelings, while real, aren't always accurate. If you've been feeling invisible lately, I want you to think about something. Not whether people notice you, and not whether you're popular or not. Not whether everyone understands you. Just this. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be seen? Not the version of you that's always okay, and not the version that's trying to impress everyone, but the real version. The honest version. Because sometimes the path to feeling seen starts with allowing people to meet the person you've been hiding. And maybe that's the strange thing about invisibility. Sometimes we spend years waiting for someone to find us, while quietly keeping ourselves hidden the entire time.